We're growing close to the end of Sword Art Online week, month, or year, and I just finished Sword Art Online Alicization, War of the Underworld, and I gave you guys a way out. We could have been talking about Albedo right now. As always, it's up to me to change the name of this anime to something a bit more real. Man. It's time to retire this bit. Let me just get one more in. Kirito alert. I've fallen and I can't get up. Really? That's the one you want to go out on? Yeah. If you enjoyed watching people fight over if Asuna or Alice was best girl, just to be wrong because they forgot about Yu-Gi-Oh, then be sure to subscribe to both my channels and join my Discord. Let me give you a satire synopsis of this anime, which will contain spoilers. After Kirito got brain damage from watching X-Arm, he went from being a dual wielder to a dual wheeler. Alice took it upon herself to become his caregiver, even taking advantage of him like they do. But Kirito still pulls girls while being in a coma, because he's just so cool. Meanwhile, the facility where Kirito is being kept is being raided by a group led by Gabriel, who are trying to steal the AI Alice from the research team. This group is of course hired by America because we're always the bad guys. Jeez man, what did we do to them?
The B-29 dropped an atomic bomb on Nagasaki.
Oh yeah, they decide to go into the game to get Alice, but at least they have to start at a low level like everybody else. What idiot forgot to put a password on the evil emperor of the game?
You are made of stupid.
Asuna will also go into the world to save Kirito.
Link start. What username should I use? This might take a while.
Hey look, the dynamic duo is back.
じゃあ、ユージオ先輩も。
This big! Alice needs to return to the battlefield since Emperor Vecta is launching an all-out assault with his army of CGI. Why did they bring Koma to the battlefield? He's AFK!
You got to be kidding me!
A few fights happen which follow the same format. The knight is losing, someone volunteers as Krillin, then they turn Super Saiyan and win the fight. Unless you're this guy who literally gets inspired by being in the presence of Kirito because he's just so cool.
This McDonald's Wi-Fi better be better.
Alice uses the Spirit Bomb and it only took 3 episodes to power up. Suck it, Goku.
I am clicking all the parking meters!
It took 9 episodes, but Asuna finally made it into the game. Chick fight over a disabled Kirito because he's just so cool. Now that we've assembled one harem, time to get the other harem to try to recruit players to go into the AI world to help.
If you do go into this world, there will be no pain absorber, and you will face excruciating pain.
Yeah, let's go, we're in!
You may also lose your current avatars in this game.
Screw you! Too far, man!
But online friends are real friends.
She got a point. Back in Wonderland, the enemy have the same plan, and by tricking Americans into thinking that there's a war that needs to be fought, they arrive. But the Avengers are brought to this world. Leafa, Shinon, and even Klein gets his 5 seconds of screen time. Tiffany. Okay, I'm beginning to think that they do this on purpose. Alice is kidnapped. The science team discover a way to get Kirito back by using data that is live by the harem, die by the harem, I guess. Bercoli sacrifices himself, defeating Emperor Vecta by switching the animation style. What a Chad. Back on the front lines after defeating the Americans. Huh? What is that? Oh god, the Koreans. Who also came from the real world with the main villain, gives them an inspiring speech to trick them into fighting the knights. Do you think that he knows that we don't speak Japanese? After Alice leaves to the world's end altar, which will take her to the real world, like every good FPS player, Shinon spawn camps Gabriel, since he can just come back with a new avatar. During their fight, she's magically saved by Kirito twice because he's just so cool. And although she loses to math, she hits Gabriel with that Zuko classic. There's a mole in the group that betrays the science team as they try to fix Kirito. He was the one responsible for the leaks to America, but he's defeated by gravity. Asuna's team is defeated and Pooh is going after Kirito. Side chick, stop him! This bitch. Eiji and Yuna show up. Just kidding, that's not canon. Here, have the cancer patient back instead. Only character left on my checklist yet to appear is Kayaba. Since the harem can't get Kirito's sword up anymore, Yujiro decides to take charge. Wow, can't believe that worked. After Kirito channels his inner Lorax, turning Pooh into a tree, he goes off to have a final battle with Gabriel. Kirito stays to fight him, knowing that he'll be trapped in this world for another 200 years, so that Alice and Asuna can escape. Oh look, Asuna stayed too. Since the bad guys lost, they decide, welp, may as well blow up the place. But of course, Kayaba has to make an appearance. Oh no, Robot Kayaba is busted.
What are you doing? An inspirational speech isn't gonna magically make a robot work again.
Oh, come on. Alice is now in a robot body in the real world. Kirito and Asuna wake up after 200 years after becoming king and queen of that world because he's just so cool. It concludes with them taking Alice back to her world just for it to be, wait, is this? Now, let's talk about the characters in this anime, starting off with Kirito. Oh, he seems to be busy. Let's start with Alice, the girl who has more daddy issues than Edward. I don't know what Kirito told her about her past to make her like him so much, but it turned her into a full-time nursing major. They did focus a lot on her character in part 1 of this season, as she wonders, that's right, we got civil activist Alice on the battlefield as she massacres everybody. Meanwhile, the Alice of season 2 was, well,
Flying high, sunny sky.
Senbon Sakura tier.
千本桜影吉
Kirito slept for 90% of the anime, yet still had the most character development. What's up with that? While I personally would have just turned Kirito off and back on again, they needed to fill the hole in Kirito's brain that could only be filled with his harem. But to be fair, even when he was unconscious, he was still somehow saving people because he's just so cool. But at the end of the day, no matter how many lives and multiverses Kirito saves, his Asian parents will still complain about his grades. AFK tier.
あの勇者様がただのデクか
Do I even need to explain why Bercoli is simply the GOAT? He sacrificed himself in one of the best fights of the anime for his adopted daughter. Not to mention that he even pulled Queenella in the end.
俺たちの子を幸せにしてやってくれ
And he got her pregnant? This man chose death over raising his own child. Hold up, did this man just wait to cheat on his wife until he was in the afterlife? He took to death to his part a little too seriously. Super seducer tier. I'm glad that SAO really decided to spice things up with its variety of villains. We now have Psycho 1, 2, 3, and 4. He murders people because he likes their souls. And his backstory actually made me sick. Not like he's a sick villain like Doflamingo, which makes him a good character either. I mean, even his sidekick is a better villain, and his whole thing is, he's just racist. At least in the end, he got dragged into the depths of hell or something. I'm just making a new tier for SAO villains at this point. Okay, Asuna was great, but it's just the same old Asuna we've seen before. She has amazing moments, just to be saved by Kirito. But at the end of the day, which other harem member got to spend 200 years alone with Kirito? Abducted Kirito tier. Time for final thoughts and rating the anime. I sure wish they would stop killing off characters. I honestly just grew numb to it. The characters for the most part were decent, but because there were so many of them, they really couldn't focus on one character for long. Two of my new favorite characters who appeared only for a little bit were the Kudere and Hockey Boy, who fell in love because he was
あなた、すごく硬いから。
I am glad that my favorite simp made an appearance, but how many speeches did he have to give to Kirito? This ghost probably had more lines than Klein. When it comes to the plot, you're either on two sides. You watch it because you think it's amazing, or you simply watch it for fun because you know it's not going to be a good plot. Just for everyone to complain at you. If you don't like it, don't watch it. I hate to burst your bubble, but if both sides don't watch it, then we don't get another season. I thought that this plot was weaker than last season, and mostly revolved around how long can we have a continuous war? Rest in peace, animators. I do have a few complaints that I'm sure the light novel explains. The abilities in this anime make no sense. He can brainwash people, Kirito can turn people into trees, suddenly fly, reverse age things. I just miss when people hit each other with pointy shiny sticks. But who cares about the plot? Let's talk about this breathtaking animation. I really thought that last season was the peak of SAO animation, but there are so many fights in this anime that are top notch. The outro was made by one of my favorite singers, Lisa, and the openings were pretty good too. But I have to say, even if this anime is bad, it's filled with so many great moments, so I'll always enjoy SAO, even if I have to shut my brain off to enjoy it. While my anime list gave this anime a score of around 7.5 out of 10, I'll be giving a score of 7 vegetables out of 10. In conclusion, this was all caused by a guy simping over an AI.
What is this tree?
Hello, Prehistoric Lunar here. Click here to check out my second channel. Click here to check out the recommended video. And click here to check out my most recent video. Okay, I'm deflating. Goodbye.